Hey folks, welcome to another VR video. Today it finally arrived, my 256 gigabyte Quest 2 model, which I ordered from Costco. And first of all, I'm super thankful again to Oculus Gaming for giving me the opportunity to have an early access period with the Quest 2 during the Quest 2 review period. It was a really good experience, and it's a great piece of hardware, and I'm really thankful for also the people that have watched some of this content. Uh, One of the suggestions that happened after a video that I just made a couple of days ago was kind of giving some more details on some of the accessories that are available for the Quest 2. A question was asked if the VR cover for the Quest 2, which I gave a little bit of a first impressions and a review of a couple of days ago, was any wider or better than the face padding that comes on the facial interface that comes on the Quest 2. And I wanted to hold off on answering that question until this arrived. This little box right here is the Oculus Quest 2 Fit Kit, which came with my Costco order. So the Costco order came with the Fit Kit, the Elite strap, which I also have here, and I'll feature either in this video or in another video, depending on how long this takes. I want to make this one kind of brief. And also the Quest 2 256 gigabyte model. Now, I don't really necessarily need all of these accessories, but the Quest 2 by itself is $399. Adding on the Fit Kit and the Elite strap, the Elite strap is usually $49. The Fit Kit is usually $39. The total cost at Costco is $429. So you're getting a pretty good deal to get all of those extra accessories. I didn't know if I would need the Elite strap. I still don't know that. I might really prefer it over the soft strap after trying it. But I figured for that extra $30 to get all of those accessories, it was totally worth it to me to make that investment. Unfortunately, it did take a few days after launch to get to me. For those of you still holding out and waiting on your Quest 2 purchase, hopefully it'll get to you soon. For those of you that got stuck in back orders, hopefully that back order resolves itself even faster. But for today, I'm going to open up this Fit Kit, and we're going to compare the Fit Kit facial interface with the original facial interface on the Quest 2 and the facial interface that's available from VR Cover. The other caveat I want to mention about the VR Cover is it seems as though what Oculus is shipping out, the VR cover that's being shipped out by Oculus.com, may actually be an early model of the VR cover for the Quest 2. And the reason I say that is there was an article that was actually released on the 13th, the day that the Quest 2 launched, saying that the VR cover was about ready for production, was just getting out to resellers. So I don't know if that means that these were an earlier shipment and that there may have been some design changes between the VR cover that is currently shipping, or at least was shipping at launch from Oculus.com, or if it's still the same product and it's just getting out to other resellers at the current time. So we're going to go ahead and open up this box, the Fit Kit. I'll take the plastic off first here. You don't need to hear that. It's a pretty simple box. It just says Oculus Quest 2 Fit Kit for the Oculus Quest 2 headset in several languages. It says that the kit includes a pair of light blockers and 2 interchangeable facial interfaces for the wider or narrower face shapes. So one of the things that is key to any facial interface is comfort for your own personal face. What I like about Oculus and third-party accessory makers is they're trying to cater to what's best for you. I might not really care so much for the VR cover, but others might think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread because it fits their facial shape better than it does mine. Again, just like the plastic on the actual Quest 2 unit, there's a little pull tab here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that pull tab sticker, and hopefully that'll allow me to open this package up. Pretty simple. Just pull that off, and there it goes. I like how they were kind of intelligent about that. Again, just like the Quest box, it's got a little helpful hint diagram of how to install. And just like the Quest box, it's got a little manual right here and a quick start guide. Quick start guide for a facial interface. That's interesting. And literally, the quick start guide. This is awesome. It's got step by step how to detach, how to attach, and then installing the light blockers. So I'm not sure if I'm going to install the light blockers. When I heard light blockers, I thought it was going to be like a little nose piece similar to what's on the VR cover. It's not. It's just plastic pieces for around the lenses. Now I have had some plastic pieces that weren't called light blockers. They were like lens protectors by a company called AMVR that I had installed on my original Quest. They didn't do anything as far as light blocking. I have a feeling these aren't going to either. But what I want to do is look at the actual facial interfaces and see if they're any different than the original Quest. Because that question about how wide the VR cover is one that is a common question related to these interfaces. Because the padding might be different, and also the facial interface, the plastic itself might be different. So this is one of those facial interfaces. This one is labeled as W, which you can see right there. So I'm assuming this is for wider faces. I'm just going to try that on my face right now. Let's see here. I don't know if it's actually wider than the original, but it does have a W on it. We will compare all four in just a moment, but that's one. That's the wider facial interface. Additionally, I'm assuming this is going to be the narrow facial interface. Yeah, this one definitely looks different. It is definitely kind of squished in, a little bit more padding on the sides here than the... Oh yeah, that is definitely narrower. That is cool. It's cool to see the difference. So let's take a look here. So we got wider and narrower. Let's see. That is definitely narrower. That is interesting. Now I don't know which is actually going to be something I prefer of the two, but it is very cool to see that there is a difference between the two. I kind of expected it to be kind of gimmicky, but there is definitely a difference here between these two. The shape of them are very similar, but one is definitely wider, one is kind of taller and a little bit more narrow. That's cool. So we'll check those against the initial installed facial interface that comes with the Quest 2, and then also the VR cover for Quest 2 in just a moment. Before we do that, let's just check out these lens spacers or light blockers or whatever they're calling them. I don't really know that they do much to block out light. These ones are a bit rubbery. I can tell you that before even getting this little white box open. And this white box is kind of a challenge to get open. Oh look, another how-to diagram. And this one has little left and right as well. So these light blockers are supposed to like isolate your nose here. So this is the left eye. It's supposed to, there's a little tab here, a little ridge that's supposed to block out light better for your nose. I'm going to go ahead and install them and see if they make a difference, but for some reason I'm kind of doubting that. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. Alright, so in addition to those facial interfaces, the wide and the narrow from the Fit Kit, I've also got the VR cover that I have actually removed from the headset because it wasn't all that comfortable for my wife and I. We both tried it. Now, caveat is, we were trying it with the soft strap. I have not installed an Elite strap. I literally just got it with this Fit Kit. So I am going to try the VR cover with the Elite strap before I give a final thought or review on it. Now, the difference between the facial interface right now I can say is this facial interface has the nose guard at the bottom there. That nose guard is actually kind of crucial. I've talked to a couple friends. They need that for the light blocking that it does. Otherwise, they don't have that full immersion. So the first thing we're going to do is, this has a pad on it right now. We're going to take that pad off. There are 2 pads that come with the VR cover. And I showed these off in a previous video. I'm going to show you them again. There's this pad right here, and then this one's, I think, the thinner of the two. And then there's this pad right here. We hold them together. They're both essentially the same size, except one is slightly thicker than the other. So if I hold them this way, you'll notice one pad is thicker than the other. But they both do basically the same thing. So if I take the thinner of the 2 pads, hypothetically, this should be the more wide of the 2. But before I even do that, here is the width of the VR cover. Here it is against the narrow of the 2 covers. So I'm going to hold the narrow one in front of it. And you'll see in comparison to the narrow one, just like I was describing with the wide, the narrow one is a little bit more, let's actually do it this way. The narrow one is a little bit more, it's almost like it's taller, but a little bit more closed in than the VR cover. The VR cover, when compared to the wider of the 2 fit kit, and again, the wide has a W. If we do this, the wider is definitely wider than the VR cover. I'm actually excited to try the wider actually in a moment here, because I'm not sure how the wider compares to the interface that's installed on the Quest. So we're going to go ahead and pop the interface off of the Quest 2. I keep my Quest 2 like this. That little lens IPD adjustment cardboard came with it. I've never removed it. I still have the left and right stickers on my controllers too. It's kind of weird that way. A friend of mine actually kept the white paper that's around the Quest 2 when it ships. You can't get to this USB-C port. He actually cut a hole for the USB-C port so he could keep that white paper. Try to keep it a little bit cleaner for a little bit longer. So we've popped out the facial interface. So here is the OG, the facial interface that comes with the Quest 2. This facial interface does not have a marking, so you can tell it's the original. We're going to take that, we're going to compare that with the facial interface from the VR cover. And again, this is without any padding on the VR cover. That's really just so that I can get a closer measurement. And these two are nearly identical. So whether it's the original or the VR cover, as you can see, there's not really anything that's covering between the two. They're essentially the same. The difference between the two is the VR cover has this nose flap. Unfortunately, the nose flap can't be taken off and attached to a different. It can be removed, but it can't be attached to a different facial interface. It only works with this VR cover. Otherwise, I'd probably take the nose flap off and attach it to maybe one of these instead. Haven't tried the light blockers yet, though, so maybe those will sell me. The other difference for the VR cover is, again, these 2 pads. So one of these pads is a thinner pad, the other is slightly thicker. So as a pillowy pad, they might be a little bit more comfortable. What I found with the VR cover is after attaching one of these pads to the Velcro here on the VR cover, it actually pushed on my face a bit more while I was in headset, and it made my face warmer. It's actually pretty warm right now here where I am, and that warmth, it didn't help. It made me sweat as opposed to protecting me from sweat. So if I put the VR cover with the thinner of the 2 plastics on, you can see some of that pillow actually bleeds into the inside of the interface. Now that is with it even low to the plastic. So that's kind of a problem because it's even more diminishing the space that you have on your face. And again, the other thing is this leatherette material, it's like it's absorbing heat as opposed to It's making it warmer as opposed to cooling you off. The vents here, these two little vents, didn't really seem to do anything either, unfortunately. I was hoping that that space would let air into the passage where your eyes are, but for me at least, didn't really. It actually, like I said, made it a little bit warmer as opposed to cooler. So that's a comparison of all four interfaces, with the VR cover being approximately the same size as the original interface, and the wider one definitely being wider than the original interface. What I want to check now is the narrow one the same or different from the original interface? So here's the narrow interface. Here's the regular interface. Let's take the two of these together. So we've got the regular interface. I'm going to place the narrower interface behind it here. And the narrower interface is indeed slightly narrower. So we've got three different sizes. You've got normal, narrow, and wide available from three different interfaces for the Quest 2. That is very interesting. I am going to try the wide interface on my Quest 2. And the other thing I'm going to do, since I have the facial interface off of the Quest 2 currently, see those beautiful lenses? I'm going to try not to scuff them up, and I'm going to put on these light blockers. So light blockers, what I notice is there's no lip on these, whereas on the original Quest, there were little plastic pieces that had sort of these light blockers. They're not the same as these ones, but they were a little bit, there's a little bit of a lip on them. So now when I put that on, you can see there's a little bit of, actually let me turn it this way, there's a little bit of a lip there that wasn't there before. So if you look at that lens and then look at that lens, you can see there's a lip on one and not on the other. So that's on the right lens. Do the same thing for the left lens. These do only go on one way, which is handy. So now we've got two little flaps essentially. They may actually work. They may actually help with blocking light. I'm going to try them, and I will let you know in just a moment here. The other thing I'm going to install is, again, the wide of the two facial interfaces. I could also, at this point, open up the Elite strap, but I feel like this video is already going quite long. I don't need to make it any longer with that. The satisfying sound of snapping in the facial interface in the 4 spots that it attaches to the Quest 2. And now we've got our finished product here. So with a wide facial interface, we're now going to pop it on my head, and let's see how this feels. So with the wider facial interface, I did have to make it just slightly tighter. The next thing I'm going to do is power on the device here. I don't have hand tracking enabled, so I don't have my controllers out, but I'm going to check to see, like right now, if I look down, I can absolutely say that the lens flaps there, the little, what they're calling light blockers, are definitely working. There's about the same amount of light coming in from underneath the lenses as there were when I had the actual nose flap on the VR cover. So it's actually impressive how well these light blockers are working for me. I'm going to try the narrow interface just to see if that makes a difference as well. The narrow interface is tight. That is what I will say for sure. It is extremely tight against my face. I'm going to remove it right now. And now we'll do just the regular interface one more time. The standard interface that comes with the Quest. I have to say, from a comfort perspective, the wider interface is definitely more comfortable than the one that shipped with the Quest 2 for my particular facial shape. I will be switching to the wider interface for myself. My wife will probably be fine with the standard on what's now going to be her Quest 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put these, the wide facial interface and the Elite strap on, and I'll also compare to the VR cover. I have 2 Quest 2s now. I'll put the VR cover interface on one and the wide on the other. So the wide facial interface with these little light blockers will go on one Quest 2, and the VR cover that has that nose piece will go on the other. And we'll see if it makes a big difference. I think for those that are having glare issues, where there's glare coming from below the headset, I think these light blockers are awesome, to be perfectly honest. Keep in mind, though, the facial interface, the Fit Kit from Oculus Direct, is $39. It's kind of a big price to pay for these little pieces. I have a feeling now that these have released, there will be copycats of these coming. Maybe not the same smoothness and of plastic as these, but something very similar is probably coming from a third-party manufacturer very, very soon. Probably a lot less than $39, but it won't include two different facial interfaces plus those. I like the fact that they're doing this, though, that they're coming out with these different accessories to modularize the headset. One of the things that I really respect from companies like Pimax and others of that nature are the fact that you can kind of swap out different parts. You can add eye tracking and hand tracking and other features to the headset. You can change out different lenses in some headsets, not Pimax, but other companies' headsets. There was at one point an open source VR headset that was co-branded by a company called Razer. And with that one, they actually had like different interfaces that you could swap out with the plastic shell around it. Modularizing these things to make it so that it's customized to you is the key to me. I want everyone that uses a VR headset to have the headset that's perfect for them. And I think having these different accessories and different modules available, you'll be able to find what's perfect for you and stick to it. I'm not sure which of these is perfect for me just yet. I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, do a bit of an experiment with one headset having the VR cover installed, the other headset having the wide cushion facial interface from the Fit Kit with those light blockers for a while. See if either of those make it a better experience than using without them with just the stock. I do absolutely like having worn this one and having worn the wide one for a moment. I like the wide one a lot. I think the wide interface is definitely going to be my choice moving forward. I'm hoping that now that they come out with a silicone cover that fits on the wide interface, I'm also going to check out, since the wide interface is a little different than this original, if the silicone cover that I have for my original Quest will work with it. I'm not going to do that in this video, though. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks again to Jack R for asking this question that actually prompted this video. His question again was, is the VR cover plastic part of the facial interface any wider than the stock one? I find the Quest 2 facial interface to be a little narrow on my face. And this was on my VR cover review, first impressions. I'm not going to call that a review just yet because I've only used it for a couple of days and I've actually removed it because of my own discomfort. But again, new accessories, trying it out with a lead strap and things of that nature are going to make it so that I may change my tune. You never know. And Jack was actually followed by a few others echoing that same request. Shout out to Doug Aurelio and Shadow Soldier, who both said that's the same thing that brought them here. I hope you keep coming here and you see this video. I will be back with more content soon, including an actual review that takes all these accessories together and some other alternatives. I'm also going to try with the soft strap the VR Power by Rebuff Reality, which I've used on the original Quest pretty extensively because it helped counterweight the original Quest. I don't know how that's going to work with the Quest 2 because the Quest 2 is pretty well balanced on my face, so I've been reluctant to try it, but I'm going to be doing that as well. So I have a lot of accessory updates coming in the next couple of weeks. For right now, though, I'm going to go put together a Quest 2 in two different places and see which one I feel I prefer better than the other. Get out there and enjoy some VR for yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.